We're installing over $10,000 in parts for this MK8 Golf R. We're actually going to finish out these boxes and do all of them here today. If I knew this right now, how I felt, I would have put this on first before I did anything else on the car. This downpipe does not make any more horsepower. The MK8 community talks about it. Between the install and it not making any more horsepower on a dyno technically because the OEM cat does flow well, a lot of people don't do this modification. But I want to tell you up front that this is my favorite modification I've done to this car, and it completely changed the personality of it, the driving experience. We push through the hard install, we make light work of it, and I'm going to show you all the sound clips and driving footage you need to understand why you should probably reconsider this mod for your MK8 Golf R. We're going to start with the Milltek Turboback exhaust. I have this linked in the description. And don't forget, this series is coming to a close, and if you're interested in purchasing this car, that's going to be really nice. Save some money on parts and labor. I'll have a early sign up so you get notified when the car goes live on Cars and Bids. Oh, it came with a mug and coffee.
Got some stickers. Hey Cameron, thank you for choosing a Milltek exhaust kit for your awesome MK8 Golf. We truly hope you enjoy it. Keep up the amazing content.
Aw, clean little Milltek mug.
And it came with like this metal badge. Look.
Oh yeah, little badge. This is my first Milltek exhaust. Popular go-to for the MK8s. You notice I got this place to actually cool down for you?
Yeah, it is nice.
And it's the perfect day to be outside, honestly. So this nice downpipe from Milltek is a Racecat 200 cell. It's got the bungs, all the welds look nice. You don't really gain anything on these cars from installing this, but you gain a lot of sound. The throttle response will probably be there, of course, as it should. But the main reason to install this is you get the beefiest exhaust note you can from this engine. So of course I'm gonna do it. But is it necessary for power? Nah, not really. Little nameplate right here. This is the first Milltek on the channel, so I'm just kind of soaking it up. Made in England. So this should be the muffler part. Whoa, look how big that exhaust stick is.
Holy.
Look at this thing, that's pretty cool looking.
What the heck is that?
It's a valve. Got a muffler? Barely. This looks like a mod you would do.
Of course.
This is a tow hook kit, which I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but Sean at 034 intended. Oh, we're gonna use it?
Yeah, because race car.
While Parker's opening that, if you notice, I got the ice. Trying to make the ice work with the mic kind of sucks. But we have a new partnership with GLD where we get all our stuff. You can get up to 60% off with the code KARMASPEED. I'll have a link in the description. If you want to get something for you, for your girl, it's actually very affordable stuff, and with the discount, it's a free way to support the channel and us doing what we do. And it's fun to up your style game like Parker helped me with. I didn't used to wear this stuff, but Parker got me up to speed, so
now we're dripped out.
Now we're iced out. All right, what's this thing look like? Billet. Look at the logo right here.
This thing's heavy. Definitely wouldn't break.
This thing is really nice. Then Parker's opening our sway bar end links because those are plastic, the OEM ones, and they tend to break.
They break just like that?
Well, the OEM ones are plastic. So then when you put an upgraded rear sway bar, it's tighter, and so the flex, it'll just break the plastic ones when you're cornering. This is supposedly, just like every hot hatch, one of the best mods that people get excited about is the rear sway bar, because it really tightens up the rear. Sean over at 034, my buddy, pulled some circus acts or something crazy, he said, to make this get to my house. So Sean, thank you. They were not in stock, and he managed to find one and get his hands on one. Nice little billet holders for the sway bar.
Beep, beep.
Screw that into here. Moving on to unboxing our upgraded brake rotors. All right, so this one is a nice upgrade. Upgrading their rotor size with some adapters.
Warning.
Parker has the rear upgrade. I have the front. This is a massive.
Holy.
Look how big the fronts are.
It's even gonna fit in the wheel.
It's gonna look crazy in the wheels what it's gonna look like. The adapters are the factory Golf R powder coated blue.
Wait, what the heck? Is that adapter because they're like so big?
Yeah, you got an adapter and then you put the factory caliper right here. and it matches. You can get this for the S3 and it's red.
034, step ahead.
The plug, the rears also. I want to show you something funny that happened. I hate getting the car aligned. I don't have a shop that I love, but I've been taking it to the Firestone by my house, which for aftermarket cars that are modified and such, usually that's a gamble. And I don't usually like to take those risks, but I don't have an option. So I took the Golf R there. We added the negative camber, the caster, the springs, the sway bar, everything's all out of whack, and it is pretty low for a shop like this. And this video was made possible because of a company called Wolfbox that makes a dash cam that I had hooked up, and I'm going to show you the footage of the guys trying to get it onto the alignment rack. It's kind of funny. They go to pull it up and you see this guy going, nah, push it back, we're gonna hit this. So he goes and gets wood blocks, then they slowly pull it up, bring it up. He said they had to air up the tires a little bit and get the wood planks out. Then they do the alignment and then they pull it off. And this guy's looking real close. I mean, it clears by a millimeter, and his sigh of relief and laughing is funny. This is one of the many perks of having a dash cam, and looking at this footage, they didn't drive the car, they didn't do anything, they took great care of it, and it just restored my faith in humanity and shops like Firestone. Daryl and the guys there, thank you. If you want to be able to protect your vehicle while you're driving or when it's parked somewhere, this is a really cool device. This is a dash cam, but with a lot of technology. This product was just released and it has a giant sensor, so the quality of the video is pretty wild. This clamps on to your rear view mirror and it has the integrated camera right here. It includes a rear camera and a little GPS adapter so you can get signal. You can hook up the camera facing backwards to use for reversing if you don't have a reverse camera, or record all the time so you're getting your car covered front to back. You're getting to take a look at the quality, show you what kind of detail we can get and how easy it is to get people's license plates. It has a bunch of voice commands. Turn off screen, it turns off, and it's my regular rear view mirror. Turn on screen, split screen front and back. Now we can see behind us full screen. The sensor is over 1 inch. That's why you're able to get really good image quality, crop in really far, and read anyone's license plates. It has our miles per hour and what direction on the compass we're headed. When you go to purchase, you'll see a bunch of add-ons, including this hardwire kit so it can record 24/7 even when the car's off, or a polarizing lens to get rid of reflections. This video was brought to you by Wolfbox. They make really cool dash cams, and you get to hear the exhaust a little early in the episode compared to normal because of this. I want to speak to the why on all these parts. We'll start with the rear brake rotors. So from factory, the factory OEM brake rotors on the rear are 15 pounds. These are 13.5, so you shave off 1.5 pounds on each wheel, on each corner. You're going from 310 millimeter to 355 millimeter diameter. A lot bigger. More surface area for more bite, for more heat dissipation. This is huge. If you're in the canyons, if you're on the track, big upgrade. Maybe you just want to put something nice on your daily driver to get more bite, to look nice also. This is a great addition. And then also with these rotors for the front and the rear with 034, you can replace just the outers. So the long-term maintenance cost goes down for a little bit of an upfront cost, but if you have the car for a while or you track it a lot, you're gonna save some money by only having to replace the outers. Since they're what's called a two-piece rotor and the center is bolted to the outer, if that's a new concept to you. You've also got the curved vanes to help dissipate heat, so all these little shapes etched out. The fronts, the factory ones, are 27.3 pounds, and these right here are 26 pounds each, so you shave off 1.3 pounds on each side. You go from 357 millimeter to 375 millimeter. Big difference. They're directional, which on the outer part you'll see which way it goes, so make sure you have it on the right side of the car that it's meant for, and has all the same features and benefits as the rears, just a little bit of a size difference. And then we have our appropriate powder coated brackets, so everything fits. I'm excited to see how these look and how they bite. Let's talk about this sway bar. So the factory one, hollow, not very stiff at all. This one is solid steel, very stiff. It's gonna be 50% stiffer than your OEM. So when you're rotating the car around a corner, what a sway bar does, if you're new to this, when the outside wheel tucks up, so you're turning left and you're leaning down like this, as that wheel goes up on the outside, it's gonna pull, since they're tied together with the sway bar, it's going to pull the wheel up with it, keeping the rear end of the car flat, and it makes cornering, feels like you're glued to the ground. When you don't have a sway bar, the car is just gonna lean and sway like a trophy truck. But then when you put these sway bars on, you go to lean, it pulls the other wheel up with it, forcing the other side to go down. So when you really slow down and think about it, these do a lot for the handling of the car. I'm only gonna be doing the rear on this car. The front already handles well, especially with the camster mounts and everything else we've done. Then we pair it with the 034 end links that are metal, that will not break. The OEM ones are plastic, they'll snap. Then we got some billet pieces with some Zert fittings so you can grease these up later down the road with ease. You don't have any noises. You get that movement in there, greased up, really smooth. We have all the proper hardware with it. Simple yet very impactful upgrade for your Mark 8 Golf R or GTI. Let's talk about the Milltek system. This system exists for a reason, it sells well for a reason, and I'm excited to find out if we could do something that's the opposite of the ECS exhaust. Maybe not opposite, but kind of opposite. It'd probably be this one. I'm curious, getting one of the loudest systems for this car, if it will actually feel like that, because we have a 7-speed dual clutch transmission in our side. And if you know anything about modifying cars, you know that the more gears you have, the higher a gear you can go, the lower the RPM you can cruise, the lower the chance of there being any drone or annoying noises. Now I went with the race muffler. Hey, someone's gotta do it. I'm here for you. I gotta do my job here. I am that friend in the friend group. I may give Parker a hard time like he takes it a little further, but I'd say if this piece specifically, if Parker picked one, it wouldn't even have this here. So I mean, come on. This is the race muffler. It's this little resonator looking piece. You've got the Y, it's welded here. We got the valves to run it through the race muffler, tone it down a little bit. Now what I'm thinking and what I've been told, in 7th gear with the race muffler, it's chill. Nothing bad, it's not bad news. Now, when we have the valves open and we're shooting it straight out, it should be pretty dang loud, which that means it should be extremely fun and extremely usable. Then you pair it with this guy right here, our 200 cell race cat. This Turboback system should not only look nice, but sound really nice. And the big thing about the Golf R is you'll hear people talk, oh, you don't need a downpipe. There's no point, it's only sound. Well, run dyno numbers and everything else like that. The OEM downpipe, the technology is getting better, flows really well, not much power gains at all. Really with this. This is more so for noise, throttle response, I'm assuming is a little bit better. It has to be because of flow, spooling and such, because it is less restrictive. The cat is less dense, so air flows through it faster. But the thing and what I'm getting to is that you may not need this, but if you like turbo whistle, if you like turbo sounds, if you like beefy exhaust tone from your 4-banger, you have to get that. You have to. If you want to argue, we can sit here in silence. Okay, back to where we left off. This is the first Milltek system on the channel. You can purchase it with the link in the description. We pair up with companies to be able to have a free way for you to support the channel. So you can order through karmaspeed.com. It ships from Milltek the same way if you ordered from them. They're just regular people, we talk to them. These tips are pretty big. I chose this version. I feel like it'll look really nice. This should look really good and aggressive and just clean. I'm actually gonna go look. The carbon ECS tips, I can fit one tip over the entire thing inside of this one. So this is gonna dress it up real nice. We got a lot of wrenching to do. Let's get into it. I heard this is a major pain in the butt because the all-wheel drive on the Golf R versus GTIs. So this might be a long one, but we're gonna make it worth it. And we have some other cool mods, as you saw, to go with it. It's finally that time. I'm gonna get the car on the lift. Let's run it. First thing I want to do is take off this ECS exhaust. If you're new to the channel, you don't have any Maxi Flex gloves, I have a master Amazon list in the description. You can grab some. I cannot imagine working on cars without these. Seriously. Get my 034 brace out of here. Have a 15. Start loosening everything. 13. I'm gonna lower my pull jack to get the system to fall a little bit so I can unclip the wire for the valves with a little more access. Those are disconnected. There we go. Mid pipe off. Lower it, take off the wheels, and then go under the hood and do everything on top that we can. And then we're really gonna dismantle this thing. right, pull off our engine cover. Take my WD-40. I'm gonna spray a little bit of penetrating lube on the O2 sensor and the V-band clamp right here. Good preventative measure to make it come off easier. The O2 sensor has a little clip right there, and there's one right here, it'll slide out. And then go ahead and disconnect this. It's really straightforward. And then there's one up here. Unplug this one and then pull that wire out. Looks to be like we're dealing with a 6mm. This is just not a good place though. I'm gonna have to use my one by hand. Oh, that comes out easily. Sweet. Hop over to my oxygen sensor sockets. This is also in the Amazon list. This one should work. Alright, once it's hanging loose, thanks to the WD-40, I can take it all the way off. We know that the short wire O2 sensor is the top one. For the V-band, you kind of have to bang it around a little bit, and then I was able to push it off where the downpipe connects to the turbo and slide it on the turbo side, and then I put the bolt back in, then it just hangs out there. If this is stuck on here and won't rotate, you can stick the screwdriver right here and just tap on it and it'll move. We're gonna do some more prep work underneath. Before I get any further on each side, I'm gonna smoothly and easily pop off the height sensors. Just massage it off super slow. 18. Okay, I'm gonna get the front sway bar end links off. This is gonna make our life easier. I pulled down on the other side with my right arm, and then it got this one free. Put that nut on there so I don't lose it. That'll help us later. I would like to see where that other O2 sensor is. There's a lot going on here we're gonna tackle tomorrow. Yikes. All right. Oh, ow. Clip that, is that relatable? Oh. Not only do you watch this channel to learn what to do, you watch this channel to learn what not to do, and I am learning that honestly, it would be best to leave the downpipe on the top up there connected with the V-band until you get the lower O2 sensor out. Another prep piece is we're gonna take the dog bone mount off the transmission. I gotta be careful with these threads. This one's coming off easy. Next up, we're gonna take off the control arm from the ball joint, 16 mil. We need to prep the subframe to come out, so these bolts need to come out. Looks like it's a 16 mil. The subframe should be pretty much ready to lower now. I'm pretty close. The whole idea and concept, not to stress about with this install, is that because you have this drive shaft over the downpipe right above here, by being able to lower the subframe, you can actually get in here, find access to your O2 sensor, all your bolts, without taking the drive shaft out, which I have broken an MQB chassis drive shaft, and it was a $2,600 with tax and shipping mistake. I really want to ever take one out again if I don't have to. So once we lower this, I can get in there, get the rest of the job done, and we'll make light work of it. We are ready to lower the subframe. There's two bolts that hold the steering rack into it. We're gonna remove those. Then we're gonna go ahead and remove the bolts that hold the downpipe to the subframe. Support the subframe, floor jack or pull jacks. We're gonna stick this massive extension with the 1/2" impact on an 18mm up through the lower control arm to get to the main subframe bolts that are left. There's two bolts on the back of the subframe with those brackets. Let's remove those. I'm gonna head over to the passenger side. Should be the last bolt for the subframe. Start lowering the subframe. I'm gonna get these control arms off. We're gonna make sure that this lower control arm stays out of those bolts. Same on this side.
Mine's not even mine. Mine's barely even touching it.
Oh, this. What Parker's grabbing right now is what you need to disconnect. That was what was holding us up. Like a guide pin?
Yeah, something.
There it goes.
Oh,
You're right.
Yep.
Okay, so keep lowering that one. So right up in there, you'll see a wire that has a push pin that needs to be removed. That's holding us up here.
Oh, there it goes.
All right. So I'm taking these hangers for brake calipers and I'm putting it on the axles. Wow, we got all kinds of access. Let's go. Steering rack feels safe. It's hanging out right here. Nothing's getting tugged on that I'm worried about. We supported the downpipe with the pole jack. Now I'm gonna go up here because I have access to my other O2 sensor, and I just soaked the threads way up in here with WD-40. Now I need to figure out, there's a wire holder up here or two. I need to get that plug. O2 sensor socket, slide it up. Okay, it's loose. Okay, so now I can unthread it. This is what separates the boys from the men. All right, once I unthread it, straighten out those wires. That's out of the way. Now it's a matter of getting these brackets and the shielding out. This shielding has two 8mm Allens. Can you show that right there, Parker? Camera overheated, switch to the phone, so 8mm. Gonna pull that one out, and then I have this ball head 8mm icon on a little extension on my power ratchet. See if we can get up in here. Bingo. Boom. Doesn't get any easier than that. So then next I need to get out is this one that looks like a 13. So let me go get that. Let's try this 13mm swivel socket. Come on, baby. Oh yes. It's already loose. All right, we're free. Swivel sockets, my friends. Your best friend. I should be able to get this out. I gotta lower this. Oh, and it just slides through right there. Subframe is worth taking out, my friends. Look at this thing. Woo! Let's go. Today's going well. This O2 sensor in my hand, I'm gonna put some anti-seize on it right now. See if I can get some WD-40 up in this. Woo! Making sure my orientation is right. And then I'm gonna pop the hanger on the new one. Then we can take it up in the car. Putting in our bracket bolt so I can let this thing chill. Alright, we're kind of in place. That bracket wants to bend with all that weight on it. Now I'm gonna put my O2 sensor in. I'm gonna twist it a bunch to the left before I twist it a bunch to the right. I stick it in the bung. There we go. What a concept. Okay, I'm gonna snug that up. Pro tip from Brandon from the S4 series, you only need to do it by hand because with the heat and all that, it's just gonna stay tight. That'll be good. Alright, we're looking good. So now I'm gonna lower it and then hook, well, I'm gonna try and hook up the V-band from down here. So I'm getting the V-band in place. That V-band right there, I just got it connected loose. We're gonna lower the car, put this bolt in from the top and seal the deal. Then we just tighten it up, put everything back. It's gonna be so loud.
I can't wait. What if it's not though?
Oh, it will be. Oh, it will be. This thing was like a vacuum cleaner this whole time.
I know, you would get it on the gas next to me in my car and it'd be like...
You would hear more air noise trying to get out of the back of the engine.
Yeah, I just hear my car, not yours.
All right, this is a beautiful scenario right here.
Ooh, that's nice.
Then we just come in, thread the needle, get her going. Blessings on blessings. Okay, so I secured the deal. I'm gonna leave it like a little loose. So in case I need to shimmy the downpipe, it needs to be able to move. Because of that downpipe, once it's in there, I might need to go like this with it. So I would not want to tighten that too much right now.
We can tighten it once everything else is tight.
Yeah, that'll be the last thing we tighten. So, since we have this bracket right here, we would not need to rotate it. So I stand corrected. Snug, it's into the block, doesn't need to be anything crazy. Now I'm gonna put that shielding back. Now there's a lot of room for activities. These kind of seemed really stressful when I watched other videos, but when you have this exact tool at this length, with the subframe all the way off, it's easy. Doesn't take much. Cool, that shields the drive shaft. Wow, I think we are ready to rock. You don't need to look up here, but the O2 sensor, if you follow the wire, there's a little clip. Just make sure you put that back.
Oh yeah.
Mine went in.
Oh, now it's in. It's fully in.
All right, let's get these handy and slide this piece in.
Slide the bolt in or not?
Yeah, and try to start threading it in. And then I'm gonna start doing it by hand.
I must not be lined up because I'm not hitting nothing. This whole thing needs to go forwards. You're almost there.
All right, chill. Let me just walk it in on this side.
It's like one thread in.
Nice. Sensors in. We got them attached to the A-arms so it knows what to read. We have 18 mil here, 18 mil here. That holds the steering rack to the subframe. We have our downpipe bolted here. We have our subframe bolt here, tight. Then up on the sides, up top, we have those tight as well. Parker and I need to snug up the front sway bar nuts. Good thing I checked. Then we have these 3 nuts right here for the ball joints. Those are on. We got the dog bone in. Everything's torqued to spec. I'm gonna tighten these and then we can move on to the rest of the exhaust. 18. So all the bolts are tight for the subframe. Height level sensors are plugged in. Ball joints, dog bone. Engine's gonna be safe. I'm gonna be safe. You're gonna be safe. For the fun part, the rest of the exhaust. We have all the clamps from the box, and then I'm gonna set this outside. Then what I'm gonna do in the nice AC in the garage is take off our OEM valve actuators and swap those over to our race muffler pipes. I'm getting ready to put the actuators on the Milltek system, and I've noticed this with multiple systems. These little tabs get bent in shipping really easily. Don't panic, they just need to get bent back into place, and it's really easy. So I just put a nut on there, then I slide this on, and I look to see, okay, is it somewhat close? It is. This is kind of cool. So Milltek sends out a replacement for the spring for the actuator. So this pulls off. It's got this like Superman looking logo. You take it off and you snap this one on in the center of the S shape. Clips in, and then line it up with the valve closed. It connects and applies pressure to it right away, and then I know it's gonna work. And I can just tighten up these, and they are 8s. Milltek did send out locking nuts so they don't vibrate loose. It's a little bit of a flex, if I don't say so myself. So you can just snug them up and know that they're not gonna come off. They don't need to be tightened anything crazy. Boom. We'll do the other side. One last time up top, we're gonna tighten the V-band now and put that O2 sensor in. Should we do a startup without the exhaust on?
Yeah, why not?
YOLO. Hey, get that new merch.
It's gonna be loud as frick.
What was that again? Oh yeah, 6. All right, 6 mil Allen. All right, we're doing the top O2 sensor. Get a little bit of that on there for the future owner. If you want to get this car, there's going to be a sign up link in the description so you get notified when this car goes up on auction on Cars and Bids real soon. This could be your Golf R with all these sick parts, no labor costs, save some money on parts, you'll be money ahead, and you can say you had the car on the channel, boy. Click the red to red, and they really did you right on this year's model. They didn't make you guess which one's which. We'll run this all the way over here. Clicky, clicky. Slidey, slidey in here.
This is gonna be entertaining. I'm scared. Actually sounds good.
Sounds kind of tough. Doesn't sound bad.
It wants to backfire.
Yeah, it wants to eat. I'm actually not scared anymore of the catback now. That wasn't even like, if that was a Focus ST, we'd be like, ah!
Yeah, I was expecting it to be way louder. I bet if that downpipe was hollow, it would be way louder.
Yeah, if it was fully, you know what. All right, we got clamps on clamps, no shortage. This is the most important one up front. That got me excited.
I know.
It makes the car just feel
way
alive.
more motivating.
It feels kind of lame right now. The wind.
What?
The wind. Huh? Getting the wind on my sweat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 small ones.
What do we?
Yes, literally.
So what do we 8 small clamps?
This is a big pipe right here, son. Oh, I got the wrong side of the big pipe, boy.
Love big pipes.
Big pipe, son. My arms are hurting because this pipe is so big.
The Golf of Bob.
Viewers under 18 years old just laughing. Anything over the age 22, they're just like, what is this bro saying? Oh, the Golf is a bop? I just want this Golf to take this pipe. I'm serious. I want to go on. What orientation does this thing need to be in, bruh? There you go. Oh, you see that thing slide on there? Okay. Can you get me a big clamp for a big pipe?
Big clamp.
So we're gonna take these 10mm bolts out for the lower control arm covers. I got some plastic clips I need to get off. That way we can take off these bolts right here for the rear sway bar end links. Now we can have access to our end links. Let's take these out. I need to pop off this height sensor right here safely. People take off the bracket, but I like to slide off the little plastic part. If you do it carefully, it's no big deal. Alright, one side's off. $10mm triple square. This is what holds the sway bar on. You can see up in here. The 10mm triple square goes right in here. That's a little easier.
We good?
Yeah. Hello. Let's get these things pushed out of the lower control arms. Just get a little stuck. This is a pro of having the exhaust out of the way already. Those break right there, apparently. Alright, so on the end links, we have some anti-seize from 034. I do some stripes, and then I take my nut, and I just walk it up all the way to the end. And I'm gonna take the other half, thread it on, and they should probably like be an angle like that. So then you can tighten that nut. So once I have confirmation of the angle, then I'll tighten this nut against it. And then this thing slides here, and this thing slides here. And these like to come off until you install them. And so if we're gonna use the stiffer setting on the sway bar, these longer pieces need to be facing the front of the car like that. And then that should allow us to hit it in the stiffer spot. And I'll show you that. Oh, it's right here. Parker has it right here. I didn't even notice he put it there. So 30% stiffer over factory is the outer hole. 50% stiffer is the inner hole. So we'll go inner one, and then it'll be facing forward. And then if we want to go on the softer, we can put it the outer, and then you twist the bottom of the end link. These Dynamic Plus ones from 034 work both ways. Next little prep, we have some lube in here. So you're gonna take your lube, put some up inside here, and then the rest on the outside here. And then when that grease goes out, you have a Zert fitting here, just like you would grease your bearings on a trailer wheel. You connect to here, pump it full of grease, you'll see it expand out the sides. Then you know you just reset it without having to remove it. Really cool upgrade. So I'm gonna take this grease, just kind of rub it around in here. Make sure it's all good. These open up So ahead of time, wrap these around. And we have our new hardware. You can tell by the logo the orientation it goes. So I'm gonna get it up in place. These are a 6mm Allen head. Don't need to snug it up too tight yet. I want to get those end links in. I want it on the inside hole, so I'm going to position it this way with the long side facing out. Just going to rest this one in there, and then I have this one. Alright, one down. Let's tighten this guy. These new nuts are 17mm from 034. Before you do anything else, I'm gonna guess they're a 5. Yep. They'll start spinning, and so you gotta get your Allen head in there. Cool. With a little bit of yanking, a little bit of pulling, a little bit of grunting, we got it. I think I made enough room now. Yeah, I did. We're gonna tighten our sway bar on now that we have everything in place. Now we just have the 13mm bolt and nut to tighten for the links. Take our height sensor, snap it back on. Cool.
Exhaust time.
Pick up where we left off on the exhaust finally. Alright, we've got the muffler section. Slide that on. Looks like definitely goes like that.
Inside, yeah.
Alright, this makes all the difference. A little silicone lubricant. This thing even looks cool.
Yeah, it looks sick.
Looks like a little cannon. So I put this on ahead of time. That'll go right there. Clamp, slide it on. I want the bolt facing down so I can get to it. Slide it on, point it up.
I'd leave those loose too.
Yeah, for sure. Probably do those last because the tips. Cool. Parker's plugging in our actuator.
Should we do it once we're done?
You plug it in. Then you push that gray piece in. That's what you need to do on the other side.
Time for the fun part.
We have the tips in somewhat place. Now that that's there, I'm gonna tighten up the rest of it. So I'm gonna pull down, tighten that. I want this to get as far away from that rear sway bar as possible. This guy needs to go right here. And then we got the one by the downpipe. Okay, so to do the tips, I want to lower it to a more reasonable viewing level.
That rear end's gonna look good.
That looks like your exhaust.
No, mine's all crooked.
Pretty solid right there, huh?
Yeah.
And this one just needs to go up like that.
Yeah, you want the Milltek out a little bit.
Like so.
Yeah, that's good.
Man, it's nice being able to adjust it so easily. Ooh, those are big.
Looks good. It's crazy how far this rear end has come from the stock rear diffuser and exhaust.
I know. That takes up all of the space you can get out of that.
Yeah. Like it used to look like a bot rear end and now it looks like a race car.
All right, so now I want you to look from that direction and make sure that I match them up.
That one needs to go in more.
Oh.
Those ones are a little spaced out more though.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. It's like Oh wait, did that fix it?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
Wow, wait till it's on the ground. That's crazy. Well, that was easy. All right, so finishing up the install, I wiped the whole thing down. I got all my smudge fingerprints off the car. We got a big haboob coming in. Tree is shaking. But exhaust in check. I got my brace right here. It comes with spacers for the stock one. The 034 dips down lower to work with this exhaust, which is cool. This is all tight right here. Everything's good with the front end. Subframe's all in, checked all that. Ball joints, everything's good. Torqued your dog bone mounts, and wheels are on tight. We're ready to rip. Make sure you get everything good under the hood, and then we can give it a start and see what it sounds like. Great conditions for audio.
Ooh, it makes the rear end look so good.
Yeah?
This thing just monster trucks when you put it down from the lift. For starting the windstorm, baby.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Oh, it's chill up here. It's so quiet up here.
It sounds like my car. She sounds good.
That's
Yeah,
loud.
come out, come out.
Oh yeah, you can hear it now.
Yeah.
It's super chill inside.
That's good.
That sounds nice.
It sounds like my car when you cold start it.
It sounds like it looks now.
Yeah.
This car's been missing that. I love it. We'll let it warm up for a sec. Oh, it spools quick. Really? Nürburgring mode. Neighbor hater. Oh my gosh! Bro, it's so loud! Oh. It's actually wild.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, that was so worth it.
Oh yeah, baby.
Alright, let's go get some Baja Blast.
Get some Baja Blast? Oh, she sounds so good. That downpipe makes a huge difference, definitely. It doesn't just look mean anymore, it sounds mean too.
Now, it's time to see what the tow hook looks like. This car already looks aggressive, but I think this will really set it off. I've got my non-marring plastic pry tools. That comes out a little easier than I anticipated. Usually these are reverse thread, I've learned, which this one is. Take that piece out and get this in all the way. You can see the 034 logo's perfectly on top. Got the crescent wrench out, tighten that bad boy up. Get that lock nut set, snug them up to each other. 8mm Allen on this side, so I can adjust how it sits. Now let me make some space so we can decide if this is a move or not. Now from this angle, I love it. It makes the front end look even better. We take a step back. Looks pretty good. For a street car, when I get this close, I don't like seeing that opening. And then when I come from the side, I really am not a fan because it's a street car. But this is a beautiful piece. If you like this style, if I had a more track equipped build, I would definitely be running this. Even though I'm not running out my car, you might love it for yours. And if you want this one specifically, I'll pick someone random who follows the Karma Speed account on Instagram and shoots me a DM that you're interested in this. Now that the exhaust is on, we're in the car testing it. You heard how loud it was from the outside, but you're probably thinking, oh gosh, can you daily drive that? Is that a bad idea? I'm gonna tell you right now, when in the 7-speed DSG version of this car, I can't speak for the manual, but with a manual you can nurse it differently and it's actually probably easier. But With 7 speeds in eco mode in our comfort with the valve closed, forcing the air through the resonator muffler back there, when I'm driving, you can totally hear my voice. It's chilling here. Yeah, do you have cabin noise? Yeah, do you have exhaust tone? Yes, 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 and yes. Does it sound modified? Yes. But the car can become so chill personality-wise that it really compensates for the driving experience. So you kind of have such a wide range of customization with this car between the 7-speed, the personality, and how it's programmed from factory. You get a lot of personality. When you're changing from a reverse to drive in parking lots, it lets you rev it out a little bit in between, and it kind of sounds like you're driving a manual when you really open this exhaust up like this. And there's all these little quirks and things. But then when you hit the R button, and then we go to Nürburgring mode, which is the most intense one, the car gets louder, the personality gets a lot louder, you have some pops and bangs, and it turns into a really fun car where you can feel all the vibrations. You have a drone, of course, at certain RPMs. You have all kinds of noises. It's really loud right here, but when you're in eco mode or in the comfort mode, it doesn't sit in those rev ranges. It's keeping it really low. So yeah, is it a louder exhaust? But the car personality and the mapping of those modes totally changes how it drives. So if I barely tap the throttle, and you can just barely tap the throttle and it'll do some type of burbles and stuff like that, but you can hear those bounce off the wall. You can feel it in the car. It's very, very loud in the funnest way. And then if I got my girl in the car, we're going on date night, she wants to talk, put it in comfort mode, it'll start shifting up 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th gear, and then all of a sudden we can hear each other talk, and it's super chill. So this is normally when, yes, it would be way too loud, but because of the car and all the modes and everything else like that, and the personality of the gearing, like I'm saying, it just gives you that freedom to explore what some would call probably the dark side of the Mark 8 Golf R modifications. It's like, oh, you don't need to do that, just get a cab back. It's like, well, you have the freedom now that I've set you free. And then the caveat to that is that, in my opinion, the throttle response, as it should be, because it flows better, the 200 cell cat on this thing flows much quicker into boost. So you get this initial launch and push into boost that makes the car feel lighter on its feet. And with a car that's all-wheel drive like this, with the heavier all-wheel drive system, you need anything you can to make it feel lighter on its feet. So this has just totally changed the car, the feel, the vibe, the noise, and everything like that. Between the suspension mods, this, that, this is just cherry on top. I would have done this first if I could go back in time, because I just feel like it's a sports car finally. Everything up to this point, I'm like, it handles well, but it feels like a luxury car. Next thing I know, I'm like, me and Parker are just giddy, taking this thing to the gym, to dinner, date night, this, that. It's just great for everything. I love this car now, and it feels like mine now. We're on to the brakes. Let's get these big rotors on, the brackets to fit those. So we're gonna take a 13 mil on the back side, break it loose. Gonna loosen these bolts, 2 of them. Here's the bottom one. Amazon list in the description for all these little tools I have that are key. Get your brake caliper hanger. We're gonna scoop this through, hang it on the spring. That's taken care of. Now I'm gonna lightly and gently pull out my brake pads. You just slide them out on both sides. Pull off each retainer and go over to your new bracket and slide them on one by one. They just press in. Boom. Bracket's ready. I'm gonna go ahead and set this down nicely. I'm gonna pull out the 2 slides carefully. We're gonna grease these up. We got top and bottom ones. I'm gonna set them over here, orientated them top and bottom. And then there's 2 21mm bolts. I already broke them loose, so I'm gonna take them out by hand. It's all about leverage with these big bolts. So if they're extra tight, that's a good thing. Don't get mad. You don't want your brakes coming off when you're driving, but don't overthink it. If you have to, invest in a breaker bar like this, or one even bigger. I have them in the Amazon list. This was my setup. and then I just position myself to really pull. But if you're on the ground, it can be hard, so that's when that leverage is key. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Now that I'm on a backwards situation, I'm just twisting it to the right. Okay, now that that bolt's out, this bracket will slide out and we no longer need this. And this is what we're swapping it out with. So there's quite a big difference in the size. If you don't follow Karma Speed on TikTok to see what Parker's making, I have a tear running down my face how much we're laughing. So go see what that was about. Parker had an itch, I'll just tell you that. Now we're ready to remove the rotor. Simple enough, T30, this little bolt, which if you're working on an old car, this would be rusted on. It's a newer, so it's not a problem. If you are working on an older car or it doesn't come off easy, you don't want to strip that Torx head, so put some WD-40 on it. We don't need it because this car is newer, so it comes off real easy. Shout out to all the dudes that live in the salt. Sorry. T30 to take the dust shield off that gets in the way. Grab your new rotor. Line up your holes. And these rotors like to slide off the hub. So make sure you lock this thing in. There's a reason that bolt exists. All right, let's go hand tight. And before I snug it, I just want to make sure that rotor's sitting on there right. This bolt is not made to hold the rotor on. It's made to hold it in place, so just snug it up. Don't get it tight or else you're gonna play the next guy. This thing is gonna look crazy behind the wheel. All right, so new bracket, we're gonna slide it around the rotor. Get the 21 millimeters started. You're gonna have to shimmy it a little bit. Just got those snug, I'll tighten them up later. The pads for these specific brakes, you put them at an angle.
There we go.
That's a tight fit, you love that. Don't let it beat you, beat it. All right. That went in a little easier. The grease that's included, just get handsy with it. One thing you don't want to forget is this rubber seal right here. You want it to step up onto that lip so this seals off any debris. So I'm just gonna push up on that top and bottom. You just force it on with your hands all around, and then that grease is gonna stay in there. I push the brake pads into the rotor as much as possible. Slide that in. 2 bolts. Those are snug. Greased up. Rotors are on. Let's tighten the 21s. Don't want this coming off. To do the rear, we gotta release the electronic parking brake. To do that, you have an option. You can get the OBD11 app, go into workshop, and you can scroll down to brake pads replacement, and the EPB, electromechanical parking brake, can be released. You can change value, you can open it, close it, test it. I just did that. It said brake booster limited, error brake code. Perfect. Now we know it's open. I just heard a noise back there. Now we can swap these out. There's little plastic covers, so I'm gonna take a flathead and just get this started and pull these out top and bottom. There's another one. You think they're gonna wanna see that angle?
How would I see that?
I don't know, bro, trade me sides. That's your job to figure out. All right, now we have some Allens. 7 millimeter Allen. You're gonna stick her on up in there. You're gonna twist to the right because it's on the back side. Now we're free. I was able to get the Allen socket on it. Parker held back the brake line for me. Now it's stuck in the rubber. There we go. One out, one to go. Other one should be easy. I'm just gonna push right here, and then that pops out. There's nothing to really do with this one. It's got plenty to hang on. It's fine. Don't get pressed. It feels like it's breaking. That's wild. Whoa, that's a long bolt. T30, same procedure. Oh, we got a sticker. She's stuck. T30. So let's slide it in the backside. Keep your bracket straight so you thread in your threads straight. Sweet. Grab our other bolts. World's longest extension. I'm fighting a little bit of the powder coat, but that's okay. At least I know it's in there straight. I'm gonna get the bottom one on before I get any further. That one's going right in. That's best case scenario. Okay. The little plastic caps. Top and bottom, that's good. Good. Now I just need to tighten the triple squares. Give her a nice little grunt, then you know she's good. The springs on a Mazda Speed 3 are an absolute nightmare. Let's see what these will do to me. It's like that. Ooh, nice. Oh, that was really easy. Thank you, Germany. Booyah. That's best case scenario. Let me clean this one off. Ready to drive. I gotta go back into OBD11 and make sure that I turn the electronic parking brake back on, or else you'll have error codes. I've got my bedding procedures here to make sure that we wear the rotors in just right. You don't want any inconsistencies in your pads and such. Change value, close. There we go. I hear the brake pads making noise. See if the error codes go away. All right, my parking brake works. All right, we're good. You can close the hood. 35 miles an hour to 5, 10 times over. Moderate brake pressure. They're getting grippier. All right, 45 miles an hour. Little tire screech. Nothing going on here, nothing going on here. Oh, I gotta hit the brakes. Inspect the rotor visually to make sure there's an even layer of wear on each rotor surface. My side looks good on front and back. So what you're looking for is like, it's all the same silver. There's no streaking or anything else like that. Look back here. Nothing going on here. It looks same on the other side. These look great. Sweet. The car is really dirty right now. I apologize, but next video it'll be clean. Yeah, these look sick. Look at the space between the caliper and the barrel of the wheel now. That's huge difference. I mean, even on the rear too, it ain't much. This is the last modification video for the Golf R, so next video we're gonna do nothing but drive it, have a blast with it. If you wanna keep hanging out with me and Parker, which we would love to have you, we have a golf video right here. We took Parker to learn some things about golf. We had a blast together. If you wanna see the next video on the Golf R, I'll leave it right here. That channel over there, Karma Speed, we're hosting every Monday, and there's a mystery detail video on that channel you probably haven't seen yet either. We'll see you on one of these videos.
Thanks for hanging out with us.